So when you have people, like a guy sitting at his desk working for the FBI is not motivated by the same drive that a person who is, he's totally anonymous, he's just doing it for the troll.
Well, after that fortuitous video I put up yesterday talking about the need for revolution and how we're not getting any justice from the Justice Department, and I found out on the street today that Deep State Bill Barr let off McCabe. Things are getting pretty strange. I don't know where to go with this other than, to tell you, I don't see us voting our way out of this. I certainly don't see Bill Barr doing anything for us. He is deep state. How does this land with Trump? Where does this put him? First Sessions and Bill Barr. How can we be more informed than Donald Trump? How can we see the snakes and he can't? I don't know. And then there's guys like this one that you're about to meet. Nice couple. Guy works for the Department of Defense. And he has a take on the situation that is surprising to me in how he views it. And again, he's in there with it somewhat. In viewing how the deep state operates. But when I look at what he's talking about is what I was bringing up yesterday about how a majority of the police are just there waiting for their pensions. And I think that's how he's looking at it, and how a lot of the intelligence operators are working too, that their motivation isn't as strong as ours, the public's motivations. It's interesting. So, I don't know. The deeper we get to this, the more questions arise, more puzzling things become. And in some instances, the clearer things become. So that it makes you understand why our founding fathers made the Second Amendment the Second Amendment. After free speech, which was the most important to them. The second most important was the ability to remove a corrupt government. Okay. Let's get into this one. You know what to do. Hit all the right buttons if you like it, if you want to share it. If you want to help me out, go buy something and contribute. See you on the other side.
What do you do there now?
I work all over now. I work for the Defense Department. I was a pararescueman in the Air Force, and so I go and I inventory and maintain their extrication kit and operations check-in, stuff like that for them.
Wow.
I like what you're doing here. I spotted this from across the street.
Yeah.
I'd come over and check out your stuff here.
Yeah, I've been having a ball. I mean, in the middle of this liberal cesspool doing this, it's great. You know?
Nobody's too aggressive, I'm sure.
No, they're weak. They are. They're really weak. I mean, what started out doing this, and I'm a political satirical cartoonist.
Yeah.
I said, man, I might take something to the streets and see what happens. So I put a sign, just on the back of my bike, I put up the sign when Obama got in. And it said, Obama is Bush on steroids.
Yeah.
And I wasn't out 10 minutes. This car comes by, slams on its brakes, backs up, and it's this middle-aged black lady. I'm going, she rolls down the window and goes, I've been saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I went, So that's okay. I'm taking my artwork to the street. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
People get it.
Oh, well, humor and art is a vanguard. I mean, that's what kind of pushes things.
Yeah.
You know, satirical humor.
If it's not funny, the message doesn't get in.
Yeah. And the powers that be, they don't know how to handle it. That's why they're trying to stop memes.
Yep.
And,
Got to bust down.
Yeah.
Censorship is, it's first and then second.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah, I get it, man.
I've asked a lot of people in the Defense Department and all, what are they going to do if we don't see any justice?
Yeah, if people maybe nothing, you know?
I think that's what they're counting on, because Iran is placated.
Think of the number of people who are awake to anything outside of go to work, come home, eat, consume products. How many people are thinking outside of that algorithm? It's not many.
On the flip side of that, it's always been a small group of dedicated people that have changed the course of history.
Of course.
You look at the revolution, the first American Revolution, 3% started it. At its peak, 12% defeated the biggest army in the world.
What percentage of people today are all thinking the same way, though, because they all received the same programming for 20 years?
I think more than we had of the first American Revolution. I think, one, because of the advent of the internet, alternative news that they're trying to shut down, and our social networking now. I think they've opened up a Pandora's box, and they can't shut it off now. I think enough people.
I don't think it's that they can't. I was talking to her about this and a friend of mine last week. Just take Facebook for example, right? You're allowing people peer-to-peer communication, and it's disastrous for the narrative you're trying to push. But you don't want to give up that surveillance apparatus, right? So, sort of a silver lining that
it's a two-sided sword
sort of thing. Yeah,
they're using it for
So how much took a picture?
Whatever you want to put in, pal. Whatever you want to do. They're using it obviously for the surveillance.
Of course.
That's how it's ridiculous. There was a woman out here, it was yesterday, today, who is she tracks down. She's a tracker. She tracks people down for bad debts and everything. I says, well, isn't that getting pretty easy right now because of the internet? She goes, yeah, I just get on these people. They put everything on the internet. I'm over here. Come and get me. So I mean, if a layperson can do this and track, what kind of surveillance does the government have? And of course, with big tech,
I think it's actually less powerful.
You ever think so?
Yeah. So you're probably familiar with what they did to Shia LaBeouf, where he put that flag up in the middle of a field in middle of nowhere in Tennessee. Anonymous internet people. Oh, we're going to get them. they're triangulating using stars. They get somebody close to the site, going around honking the horn. Just anonymous people connected. They don't know each other's names, anything. So when you have people like a guy sitting at his desk working for the FBI is not motivated by the same drive that a person who is he's totally anonymous. He's just doing it for the troll. That's it. That's the only reason he's doing it. And you have millions of those people versus 150,000 FBI agents. They're on the same program that most people are, where go to work, come home, eat, consume products. Same algorithm. I don't think our surveillance is as effective as the mass of people.
But then we can get into the guys like the Elon Musks and all who are motivated, the Bill Gateses and all, who are motivated, who do have the power even beyond our own government.
Dragnet surveillance and all that stuff. Yeah. Sure.
So it can get scary because I mean, this book right here, I finished reading about a month ago, and I pointed out, and allegedly this guy Parza gave this information to the Trump administration, and how, I mean, they're just bypassing it. Like the 5G, like the internet connects with our computers, the 5G and 6G is going to home into our brainwaves. And just connect directly to us.
It's
Where do we go then?
Hey, Mike, it was nice talking to you.
Oh, hey, it was a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure. God bless you.
Thanks for what you're doing.
All right.
So what do you think? I wish I would have had more time to talk to this guy, but unfortunately one of the things about being out on the streets is, I want to get interrupted. People are going to come in, and for me to, if I wasn't, if I was getting a whole ton of contributions and people were buying a whole bunch of stuff off of the internet, I wouldn't need to be counting on any sales I get out there from things, and we could carry on more conversations without interruption. Hint, hint. But as it was, I didn't get a chance to engage further with this gentleman. I certainly would have liked to. Very intelligent. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for you, those of you that do contribute and share and pray for me. And I will, of course, I'm doing this all for us. I'm praying for you. And I'll see you on the streets.